Hello there, folks. In this video, I'll be going over how to approach water in Retold. And a lot of you have asked for build orders and stuff. I'm gonna go over that, but I'm also gonna be talking more generally about how to approach the different water maps. So, in the beginning, look at how amazing my background is, by the way. In the beginning, I'm gonna be looking at Anatolia, and I'll be showcasing Frey here, because Frey is my pocket pick here for a plethora of reasons. We'll get into that as the game progresses, but we'll be breaking down the build order first and foremost, and then as we get on with business, we'll talk about other stuff too. So that's 3 gatherers over onto wood, and then the berserk gonna be heading over to the shore to build a dock. And then next thing we're gonna do is send 2 villagers over onto food, and we can auto queue dwarves from here as well. And when you have these dwarves, I like to right click underneath my TC, shift click the boar, and that way you ensure that the boar isn't running around being annoying. The dock, by the way, I try to place it. Usually in Anatolia, I have 1, 2, 3 fishing spots on your side. So I try to place it in the middle of all of it because I'm only going to be having 1 dock on this side for a long while. I'm just going to build a house after as well. And I'll also put this as my control group 3 so I can easily switch the waypoint around. So 3 on wood, 2 on food, 1 on gold. That's a dwarf, just dwarf on auto queue. Now I'm going to be queuing villagers over onto wood. And I should also say, by the way, if you can, or you can, send your dwarf to the forward gold mine first, so that you preserve the back one for later. Sometimes you're gonna get into trouble in the mid game, and then it's just nice having the back one, the back gold mine here. This is so much better. And you see, I'm just auto queuing dwarfs, so now automatically I'm getting a new dwarf after 5 villagers, and that's gonna go on to the gold mine as well, obviously. The berserk, build a dock here, then a house, and I'm just doing a quick scouting pattern up here, and then crossing the map over to my 3rd fishing spot over here. That should be somewhere in the vicinity of where I am right now. And I'm just gonna continue to reduce gatherers over onto wood. We need to be making houses, docks, fishing boats, a temple eventually. So we're gonna need it. And we see the fishing boats, fishing spots right here, so let's get the dock out here. I always try to place it out as far as possible to limit walking time, sailing time, I suppose, for the fishing boat. And we just continue to produce gatherers over onto wood, so we have 7 now. And we're gonna get a 3rd dwarf here, I believe we are. And over from this newly produced dock, we're gonna be making fishing boats as well. And I think probably now would be the time that we need to... got a bit lucky here. Now is about the time that we need to send villagers over onto food. Let's actually stop fishing boat production now, because we have our 4th dwarf coming in now. We're going to be having... we can maybe... 1 more fishing boat. We're looking for 135 wood, 150 gold right now. So we want to try to hit that as smoothly as possible about the same time. And I always try to place the temples something like in front of my gold mine like this. Very defensive. And now that we have that afforded, we can start producing fishing boats again. We have 8 over here, it's going to be 9 before you know it. And then we'll just auto queue from here. And let's get hand axe as well. We're Frey, so they're cheap, but they take a while to get there. Hopefully after this villager we can advance, and then we want to send these villagers to a separate wood line, another one. We have 7 over here. If we send an additional 6 over there, it's gonna get a bit clumsy, so I like to just give these guys their own. Need a new house here, and then we're gonna shift click up here, because we're gonna need a lot of docks as well. and we're still just auto-queuing fishing boats from here. We want all 18 fishing spots on our side. We want to get all of those rolling. And when we get Classical Age, we just auto-queue dwarves to gold. We're going to be making some gatherers as well, because we're actually going to be running low on gold, I believe. Get that pickaxe as well. Really good upgrade. And the hearses we're producing are going to be building docks. We need a dock for every single fishing spot. So that's 6 docks in total. Try to keep these ox carts next to their villagers to limit walking time. And don't be afraid of using vills to build houses at this stage. I think that's perfectly fine. Okay, 5:14 and we hit Classical Age. At this stage, there's a lot that we need to take care of. We still need to build some docks. 2 additional docks still has to be placed. But first thing we want to get is Persane. And then I also like to get the tower upgrade. It's so cheap with Frey. Well, 200 resources. I think it's just nice. And then another thing, this may be a bit weird for some. I'm just going to start building the Bastion like this. It's so nice to just have it down. Okay, missing 1 dock currently. Need vision of it and then we'll be going. I also like to get the vision upgrade. I think it's really, really strong. When you have the cheaper upgrades with Frey anyways, I think it's very strong. And now you have a lot of freedom to do a lot of different things. So I like to maybe get a Great Hall and a Longhouse down just so we can start getting the upgrades. I built 1 too many fishing boats, so I'll just delete this one. Once again, just using bills to get the houses down. Really nice location for the houses here. Saves you from being raided as well. And let's start just queuing gatherers here, actually. Gonna need an armory as well. We can start getting the armory upgrades in. We're playing on Anatolia. We've got 6,000 gold mines, so 6,000 gold in our base. So we don't have to move from our base anytime soon. This is why I'm playing like this. Very, very greedy. You can even get crenellations. Like, we're playing Frey. All these upgrades are super cheap, so I just like getting them, you know. And we don't have to leave our base, because we have such a sick water economy, and they're so safe. If your opponent is investing into water, it's very easy for you to easily build good counter boats against him like this. And then the idea is we just want to sit in our base and basically go Mythic Age from here on out. Because our economy is, like I said, it's ridiculously strong. And we can easily get away with it. And while we're going Mythic Age, we want to ensure that we're getting all the technologies needed to get there. With a dock on every single fishing spot, it's very difficult for your opponent to punish you for being so greedy here. For playing so passively, so boomy. And let's get all the upgrades. Let's not get plow. That's probably a bit too much. And we have a lot of wood now, so we'll even send these guys over onto gold. Start making a lot more production as well. Production is very important when you have a rocking economy like we have right here. 18 fishing boats more than you usually have at this stage just means that, yeah, we have so many more resources that we need to spend. And the way that we ensure that we can spend it is by getting more production down. And also, when you're playing Anatolia, do not be afraid to put villagers or gatherers over onto gold. They are obviously not as efficient as dwarves, 0.89 versus 1.08, but I think it's absolutely fine. Get these eco-ups, get Salt Amphora, amazing upgrade. Once again, And the nice thing about playing Frey is that we've already got our Bastion down. So we want to just pre-queue Hell here. Hell is such a good god when you get her early. I think generally speaking, the later the game goes, the less impactful the Nidhogg is going to be. But if you can get an early Nidhogg down at like 11, 12 minutes, that's going to be brutal for your opponent. Very hard for them to deal with. So we can just... There we go. Heading towards Mythic Age already. Maybe get some Huskarls. The nice thing about playing Frey is that you don't have to think too much about what units you're actually making, because everything is just good. The most important thing is you're getting all the upgrades. So right now we're getting, you saw me getting heavy infantry, heavy cavalry, because when we hit the Mythic Age, we want to get those Mythic Age upgrades as well. So it's important that we, of course, get these other techs in before we reach that age. And right now, this gold mine is about to be depleted. There's still some left over here, so let's not be greedy about this. Just send these guys over here. Nice thing you can do is you can just take all of them, right-click this gold mine, and then when that's finished, shift-click over to this one. And now we're just mass-producing units. So the game plan from here on out is we want to get maximum value out of the Nidhogg, like I said. It's so strong at this stage in the game. And our economy is ridiculously strong too. So we're looking for, not necessarily a fight, but we want to see what our opponent is up to. We're versus AI here, so who knows what they're up to. Another thing we can look towards is maybe getting a middle TC. I think it's really nice with Frey because then you can use Ghoul and Bursty, but it doesn't look like these town centers are really worth it in that regard. Oh, we're being attacked here. Ah, that's funny. Let's just go all in over here. Well, you can see our defense now, how it's kicking in. So what is it now? 1140, we're hitting Mythic Age. Another thing I want to say when you're playing Frey is, yeah, we have a big power spike with Nidhogg right now, but we're going to have even more power spikes coming up. When we get to these upgrades here, that's going to be ridiculously strong. And we have our heavy upgrades coming in right now. That's really good. You saw me here. I don't even have an army, but I defend this rather easily now. Let's use our Nidhogg. This is the strategy, guys. This is how you do the Frey fast mythic. When you're using a Nidhogg, by the way, I can just say this. Try not to use the special attack to engage. You should always use the special attack to chase. So right here, these villagers are going to be fleeing like this, and then you want to use special like that, so that they take damage while they're fleeing, and in the process, your Nidhogg is going to reposition itself. Very important that you learn this. And also another thing I didn't do here is when you use Nidhogg, immediately you can just use select all myth units, and then you can actually right click and you're gonna completely delay the spawn animation, or deny it. So you can just use the Nidhogg and immediately hit with it. Very strong. So yeah, there we go. Super potent strategy on Anatolia. Let's head over to Mediterranean for the next game. Alright, next up is Hades on Mediterranean. I think a lot of people generally tend to dodge this map, but I think it's a shame. I think it's honestly a good map, and the stock standard pick here is Zeus or Hades. I'm gonna showcase Hades here because I like playing Hades. The reason they're so good is because of restoration and a bunch of other things. You're gonna see here just how smooth the build order is when you're playing Greek on Mediterranean. 3 villagers goes onto a wood line, and 1 builds a dock like this, and then you just shift click over onto the wood line. And then, similar to Anatolia, we're gonna lure the boars under our town center. And this was a bit unlucky. Sometimes they do this and really hate that they do it, but it is what it is. We get a new one, hopefully this one won't troll us. Nice. So that's 2 on food. Let's start putting 2 over onto gold now.
Πρόσεχε, μάλιστα. Τέκτον.
When you're playing Mediterranean, by the way, you're gonna be fighting over the center of the map. That is the most important part. Generally speaking, whoever wins water wins the game. So really important that we do that. And what else is there to say? Let's get a house down. 4 on wood will suffice. You saw in that Anatolia game, we had so many villagers on wood. But right now, we want to advance faster than we did in the Anatolia game. So we're putting more onto food early on here. We don't need that many fishing boats on Mediterranean. Not as many as Anatolia, not nearly as many. Reason for it is because we're fighting over water so much. And when you're fighting on water, you cannot actually use food for anything. So the only thing we really need food for is villagers and economic upgrades, maybe some heroes here and there. But in reality, it's wood and gold that we really need. So we don't want to overproduce fishing boats either, because there's no point. Like I said, we only want wood and gold. That's honestly our main priority. So why would we want to overproduce on water? It doesn't make any sense. So right now, obviously, we're looking for that 150, like that last game. Just want to get that timber down. And that means that we just send our villagers over onto food. You saw the build order here. 3 onto wood, actually 4. 1 just builds a dock first, 2 on food, 2 on gold, and rest to food. Very, very simple build order, actually. You could probably concoct a build order where you advanced now, but I don't think it's that good. You want a good economy when you advance as well, and advancing immediately, really fast on Mediterranean, I don't even think it's that worth it. So we'll advance here. So let's do that. Things went a little fast here, so I'm just gonna explain what I did. Oops. So, like I said, we don't want any more food from our villagers at this stage. Wood and gold are our priorities. And if we look at what the boats are costing on Mediterranean, it's 100 wood, 50 gold. So you would think you would want an economy that looks something like 10 on wood, 5 on gold. That would be perfect. But in reality, gotta keep in mind, you still need to make docks, you still need to make houses. And if we want an Ajax out, that also costs wood. So we want more on wood than just 100% more than gold. We want something like 11-4 even is what our economy is looking like now. Yep, 11 on wood, 4 on gold. I think that's good. Especially early on, because we need to build a lot of houses here. And I think we need a 3rd dock as well if we want to really keep up. I really like to put all my docks in one control group, by the way. Hand decks, super important to get. Should have gotten it earlier, even. And then Ajax, also a great pickup. Just so you can pick up these relics. And then probably send some villagers on to gold, because we're gonna need it. Okay, so this is important. We hit classical age here. You could argue this 3rd dock wasn't needed when we advanced this early, but I think it's good. So let's talk about the different boats here. The archer boat counters the hammer boat, counters the siege boat, counters the archer boat. That's a general rule. But then my rule is that this boat, the hammer boat, generally speaking, is the better of the three. Reason for that is that the hammer boat is a hard counter to the siege boat. The siege boat is a hard counter to the archer boat. But if you go into the editor and look, the archer boat isn't even that big a counter to the hammer boat. So there are really hard counters on water, but the archer boat seems to not counter the hammer boat as much. And another thing is, see that when we get the new boats out,
Τέκτον, βρυτόμος.
these pentaconters, the hammer boats, have 7 speed, so they're highly mobile, really good at chasing boats around, and at the same time, if you find yourself in a bad spot, really easy to just get away from bad fights. Siege boats are 4.8 speed, arrow boats are 5.5. So the mobility of these things, combined with the fact that they actually fare decently versus arrow boats, just means that this unit, in my opinion, is better than the other two. So when we get to the classical age, what I like to do then, given that hammer boats are the best general unit, is start off with those. Start off with the hammer boats and then take it from there. So imagine you're my opponent and you see 3 hammer boats coming in. What do? I think most people are going to say, what counters hammer boats? It's going to be triremes. So we'll actually predict that. We're going to be building 3 siege boats to counter the arrow boats, the inevitable arrow boats that comes out. And then you ask yourself, when you show your siege boats out as well, what are they going to do? What is your opponent going to do when these siege boats pop out? Well, highly likely they're going to be building hammer boats themselves to counter my siege boats. So what do we do then? We build arrow boats to counter the siege boats. We're now at the stage where we've got so many boats that it's good to add the arrow boats. They do counter hammer boats for sure, but just not by that much. And so we have the circle of counters here where we're continually predicting what our opponents are going to do. So now we're going to be showing our arrow boats to our opponent. What are they going to do then? They're going to be making siege boats. So we're back to building hammer boats now, because they will counter our opponent's hammer boats. So I think that's generally how Mediterranean tends to go, is you start off with one type of unit and you try to predict what the other player is building, and then you try to counter that preemptively. And generally speaking, if you don't quite want to think too much about it, start off with hammer boats, then you add siege boats, then you add arrow boats, and then you continue doing that. And also another great rule, in my opinion, is hammer boats are always a safe choice. Obviously, if your opponent has got full arrow boats and you've got full hammer boats, that's terrible for you. But of all the 3 boats, I do think hammer boats are just much, much better than the others. You see here, say that I'm undermanned in a bad situation, it's so easy for me to just get in and out here. Say, nope, 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 I'm not gonna fight that. Whereas, if my army consisted entirely of these boats, and then I had to flee, oh my god, I'm so slow. Not only am I slow, but the hammer boats are going to be pursuing me, and they'll be faster, and they'll be countering the siege boats. So, yeah, that's the Mediterranean units for you. And generally speaking, whoever wins water tends to win the game. However, since you're playing Hades, I want to also just say that Underworld Passage, amazing god power in Mediterranean. Your opponent is on this gold mine in the beginning. Eventually, 11 minutes into the game or so, they're going to have to look for a second gold mine. So oftentimes they're going to go for this one, the one that's sort of like on the same side of where they are. So a really nice play that you can make is to build a Pegasus, and then you want to hover this gold mine, and if you hit Heroic Age, immediately just use Underworld Passage on there to stop their gold production. That's like, as the game progresses, a really nice play to make. Other than that, go Mythic Age, go Hephaestus, get the Plenty Vault, get the Forge of Olympus and the cheap armory upgrades. That's also really good to do. But yeah, that's Mediterranean. It sounds simple enough, but it can be really difficult. And microing the water is actually super difficult. A lot of people, like I said, actually do dodge Mediterranean, but I think it's a shame. I think it's a fun map to play. And there's a lot of intricacies to know about it, so I hope more people are going to give it a shot now. Finally, let's take a look at Midgard. I think Cronus is a really cute pocket pick on Midgard, so I'm going to showcase a good build order here. Midgard isn't in the map pool currently, but it's one of those maps that often makes an appearance and then it disappears again. So I'm gonna showcase it too, because it's probably gonna be very valuable for you guys still. So first thing I should say is that I have put one citizen on dock, he's gonna go on wood afterwards, and then the next citizen is gonna go on to food. If you're not sure where your initial fish is gonna spawn, a good little trick is you go to the middle of the minimap, and then you draw a straight line to the town center. You follow that line, and that's where your first fishing spot is. Right here. It's a bit hard to do it. Yeah, I think it's more or less correct. So I didn't actually follow that rule. I was talking and all this stuff, so I didn't do it perfectly. But middle of the map, draw a straight line to the town center, and then from the town center to the shore, that's where your first fishing spot is. 2 citizens on wood, 1 on food, and then we send the next one over onto gold. What's really nice about the build order that we're doing here is that these 2 citizens are looking for fishing spots, and we're playing Cronus, so we don't have to do it near our base necessarily. And then this guy is scouting aggressively for our enemy to see what his map is looking like. The rest of our civilian units are going to go over onto Boar. So this is a 3rd fishing boat. We're actually going to stop after this. No more fishing boats after this. And we have a cow over here. The purpose of this cow is so that... We'll actually get to that. There's a reason why we place a cow here. You'll see it later. And here is a great fishing spot. Imagine if we time shift a dock down here, that's going to be really, really nice. So we'll keep this oracle placed right there. It's going to be really nice for later on. And you can see 2 on wood, 1 on gold. We're getting closer and closer to 150, 150, which is obviously where we want to be at. We're not producing any more fishing boats. We're sticking to just 3. Which might seem like a low number, but as we get on with the game, you'll see why we're doing it like that. This guy is just going to remain here because it's going to be super useful having vision of this place. What we're looking for over here is the wood line and the gold mine. Right now, we have enough gold for a temple, so we're just going to be... Oh my god, I messed up. Look at it. There we go. Now we should have built our temple. We needed just that last bit of wood for our next citizen here. It's not the end of the world. But we want to have 0 wood, 0 gold, ideally. Because we need all the food we can get here to safely get us to the next stage. Okay, let's go Prometheus after this. And we're just going to send all our citizens over to wood now. We saw a really good spot for a time shift over here on a wood line, always worth it. Haven't seen the gold mine yet, unfortunately. What else we want to do here is want to build a new dock. Want to start auto-queuing fishing boats from here, sending them over to the new spot over there where we're going to be time shifting this one. So the idea is we rush our opponent with the free Prometheans, and we're going to be sending Thermos as well. And while we're doing it, we'll be booming behind it. This guy's going to look for new fishing spots now. Actually, this guy found another good one here. Right there. So that's great. We'll keep that in mind. Just keep him located here. Should be fine. And then these guys are attacking the wood line, getting instant value. If we're lucky, we would have a gold mine here as well, but we don't. But you see, these Prometheans are gonna get a lot of value for sure. Gonna send this one over there as well. And we're gonna continue making boats up here now. Oops. This one right there. So even though we advance fast, we're actually kind of booming currently. Can get a new Promethean here, start making thermos as well. Don't need any more fishing boats. You can actually get Persane from this spot now. And then we're gonna be building a new dock. Look at my macro, by the way. 2 on gold, rest on wood. We're needing so much wood when we're playing like this. So we should probably be sending our units over to the gold mine. I think that would be the best thing to do here. Keep making thermos. And this one will be time shifting over here. May look a bit complicated, but once you know what you're doing, it feels really, really good. So look, we got our 3 fishing spots here from the beginning. Now we've got 6 additional ones here. And very, very soon we're going to have 6 up here as well. While we've been booming on water, we are also dealing so much damage to him on land. And I think it's time that we start sending citizens onto gold, actually. Because we're floating a lot of wood all of a sudden. But yeah, that's the Cronus rush / boom on Midgard. Very interesting way to approach this map, I think. If you hit the gold mine and the wood line with those initial Prometheans, and you do the fish boom follow-up, you're gonna have such a superior economy over your opponent. And I think this is such a cool way to play Cronus as well. Really utilizing the time shift potential here. And once again, we see a new fishing spots with our oracles, so we build a new dock. And we'll already now prepare this spot. Probably gonna be some more fish over here, if I know these spawns correctly. Yep, right there. So we'll take this dock and we'll shift it over here. And then we'll be building 3 fishing boats from here when it gets there. And the good thing is, whenever you feel like, alright, my boom is over, you can just time shift everything back. You may even want to get this upgrade here. This upgrade got buffed recently, so that it only cost 225 resources. Allows you to time shift 3 buildings at once. So I think that's honestly a good time to showcase this right now. I wonder how it works. If you got 2 selected, can you do both of them at once? Yep. Really, really sick. So there we go. Cronus Rush. Hope you enjoyed the series. Hope you, if you didn't like water before, hopefully you're a bit more encouraged to play the water maps, because I do think they're fun. I do think they're really worthwhile knowing, especially if you like competing. There's no way around it. You need to learn water build orders. So yeah, if you liked it, make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment. I'll see you guys later.